Howdy folks, Max Clark here. I am the camp director for YMCA Camp Unalaya. Hey, coming to you with another trail video. This one is outlining the Bois Brule River trip. Now, here's something that's a little tricky for you. There are two Brule Rivers in Wisconsin, and we are going to canoe down both of them. They are totally different, totally separate, and they are on opposite ends of the northern part of our state, but it is just a little confusing there. You'll see here it says new for 2024. Here's a little trivia for you though. It is not new to Camp Unalaya. I was rooting around up in the attic the other day above the office, and I found a brochure for camp from the 1970s, and back in the 70s they were offering this as a trip. So pretty cool. I saw that and I said, man, we got to bring that back. We also needed a good in-between trip. So what do I mean by in-between? Well, it's in-between for kids ages 14 to 16. So we have a lot of trips for 12 to 14. We have a lot of trips for 14 to 17. But we didn't have anything that was kind of in between that. So we made this, and it is a 1-week itinerary. So it's one of the few that a 15 or 16-year-old could do. That's a 1-week trip at camp. Otherwise, the rest are 2-week trips. And also, it's an in-between in skill. There are parts of this river that are easy, no skill needed, floating down the river. And then there are sections of this river that are class 1, class 2. There's even one section that's like a class 2 plus, if depending on the water level, maybe a class 3. So it will take some pretty significant canoeing ability. So I think that's a great transition, great for someone who's done a couple of river trips at camp already and is looking for something that's going to be a little more exciting and a little more challenging. So the Bois Brule. Okay, all right. Well, let's dig in to our trip here. So when the kids check into camp, they'll get moved in. We'll pack them up, and they have to head 4.5 hours to Brule, Wisconsin. Now check this out. Look at this. If you zoom in, I'm going to zoom in over here by Iron River. Look at this. What? You crossed the Brule River? Huh? That's what I'm talking about. There's two Brule Rivers, and that Brule section is right there. It's what we call the border Brule, and we do have that trip as a canoeing offering as well. But we are heading over to this Brule, the Brule that's over in between Duluth and Ashland, smack right here. Now check this out. I'm going to switch maps to my trail map software. Boom, there you go. Fascinating river. This is a fascinating river. There is so much interesting stuff about it. Number one, this river flows from south to north. It flows south to north, but it hasn't always done that. Okay, so back in the Ice Age, this is Lake Superior up here. Back in the Ice Age, this was a humongous glacier. And when it started to warm up and started to melt, the water from that flowed. It melted off and carved out this canyon and flowed from north to south. And then when the glacier was finally all done and it retreated out, it carved out the land once again, and the waterways started to flow from the south to the north. I think that's fascinating. The other really interesting thing about this is it's known as the River of Presidents. So here's a really interesting fact here. Not one, not two, not 3, not 4, but 5 different presidents have set up temporary residence here to enjoy the world-class fly fishing that goes on. So I guess it's really known for trout. So pretty cool. If you're into trout fishing, this is a great trip for you. They would stay right here. This is the Cedar Island Resort. And you can see right there, that's an aircraft runway. And there's lodges all through there. And that's where Presidents Grant, Cleveland, Coolidge, Hoover, and Eisenhower all stayed at some point. So fascinating. All right. The third, here's the last fact, okay, and then we'll get into it. Bois Brule means burnt wood river. There you go. It's French. All right. I'm just going to call it the Brule from here on out on this video, and we're just going to talk about the trail and the trip. So they are going to get dropped off. Our campers are going to drive up, and they are going to put in here at the river access. And our trail volunteers, our trail angels, are going to move the vehicles all the way to the end, and the end is Lake Superior. Isn't that pretty cool? Add that to your list of fun facts. It ends at Lake Superior. Okay, so the vehicles have moved, and now they're going to start floating down this river. So the first section of this, it's about 11 miles long, okay? And gradual, easy float. There's a couple of Class 1 rapids through here, nothing of any significance. And at the very end of the journey, there is a small drop. There's a Little Joe Rapids right here, and that's Class 2. So they'll go through that, and right after that, they'll turn, and there is an established campground, the Bois Brule River campground. So they're going to stay there for the night and get ready for their second day of travel. So their second day, I'm going to highlight that section right here. There we go. And this is Onyx software. This is a great software. If you do any sort of outdoor stuff, I would totally recommend it. Great software. Okay, this is a 10-mile stretch of river that they're floating down until they reach their second campground. Okay, that's Copper Range Campground, where we have reservations set up. So they're going to pull off the river. Boats will just stay out on the shore. They'll camp for a night, cook up some great food, get some rest, and get ready for the exciting section. So this next section, basically from here to Highway 13, okay, it is about 9 miles long. This is almost non-stop whitewater. So Class 1 and riffles, fast pace through all of this, and there are a series of Class 2 drops in here as well. So you're going to see, as I zoom in, we can kind of see some of that. Hang in there with me. I marked them out. Cool. So the Lenroot ledges, Class 2, there's 4 little drops. Bloop, 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 bloop. So they'll go through that. Now, all of these are well established, and our staff are going to have prior knowledge of all of this. When the group is going through, they're basically going to pull off before they go through the rapid. They're going to get out. They're going to walk down the river. They're going to scout it out. They're going to look at the routes and then decide, yep, we're going to go through this. If it doesn't look good, then they're going to just pop out, portage around it, and go through it once again, okay? So there's 4 drops there, and then these are the May ledges right here. Yep, May ledges, very famous. This is a very famous section of whitewater for canoers and kayakers. Very fun. A lot of people will just come up here, drop in on Highway 13, shoot through that, and then pull out and just keep doing it because it's that good. There's 4 drops on this again. This is the one that I labeled Class 2 plus. So it's typically a Class 2. If there's ultra high water, it'd be a Class 3. Again, our staff are going to pull off. We're going to scout it out. If it looks great, we have a good route through there, they're going to shoot through it. If they have any reservations about it, then we're just going to walk around it, no worries, and hop on in and finish out the rest of this day's journey. Let's look at the terrain. Look at the drop down in here. That is cool. That is all carved out by glaciers. I just think that's amazing. Okay, so we get on down and camp. So check this out. Let me zoom in. I'm sorry, hang in there. Now you'll see there's no campground over here. There's this town of Cloverland. Well, guess what? Camping Elia has a great connection. Phyllis, who works for the town of Cloverland, has hooked us up, and she has given us permission to camp right in here. And they do have a small little campground over here, so it's not that special. But thank you, Phyllis, for hooking us up. They're going to camp there for the night. And then their final day's journey, they are going to shoot through this last section. This is known as just the most beautiful section of this river. Very calm waters, easy float. And when they're done, all of a sudden they round a bend and it's just boom. You're out on Lake Superior, crystal blue, ice cold waters of Lake Superior. Just so neat, so neat. And lo and behold, their vehicles are there waiting for them. So they'll pack up, they'll load up all their canoes, and drive back to Camp Elia.